Africans, gather here, please. We need to talk. We need to have an urgent meeting right now. This is extremely, extremely urgent and extremely important to have a discussion on. I am telling you, we need to be worried. And I mean it with everything in me. There is something going on behind the scenes in the media realm. A lot of people, unfortunately, don't see the value in media and specifically soft power. The Western world understand that perfectly. Like if we want to do something about soft power and we need to copy anyone, let me tell you something. There's a blueprint right there. Western world, specifically Hollywood, they got it. They just got it to a T. They know exactly what they're doing when it comes to media, how they influence people, how they use their resources when it comes to that, okay? Western world in general, they're really good. America being the superpower in that. I will give America the gold medal for that. But then now even China is catching up. They're realizing that soft power is where it's at. And we'll talk about it a little bit more in detail, but what I want to talk about at the moment is about a French billionaire trying to buy MultiChoice in a hostile takeover. MultiChoice, also known as DSTV, as Africans, most of us know what DSTV is, but for those of us who don't know what MultiChoice is, MultiChoice Group is a South African-based video entertainment company focused on providing video entertainment to various devices and subscribing households in South Africa and across sub-Saharan Africa. Like a lot of households, well, okay, a lot of is a stretch because it's a bit expensive. Not a lot of African households have it, but those that can afford it have it, okay? That's important to throw out there. Not everyone has access to DSTV. But the thing is, they bring into the market a lower priced, a lower version with less access to the channels. They are there, and they're also part of MultiChoice. So there's that as well, okay? I want you to pay attention to what MultiChoice is, right? It's an entertainment company focused on providing video entertainment to Africans. Basically, it's based in South Africa. Now we are hearing that the French billionaire Vincent Bolloré is trying to buy MultiChoice, basically a hostile takeover. Let me show you this clip. We'll come back and discuss.
And the aforementioned Vincent Bolloré, the billionaire media magnate. Bolloré has a reputation. He's a skilled corporate raider with a well-established strategy. Acquire a small stake at a news organization, slowly build up his shares at said organization, stage a hostile takeover, then lay off a bunch of staff and pivot the outlet editorially to the right, even to the far right. They call it the Bolloré system. And some of his most significant media holdings are outside France, in Africa. His satellite TV company, Canal+, dominates the West and Central African markets. Bolloré is now in the process of taking over a satellite TV company based in Johannesburg, MultiChoice, which has customers across sub-Saharan Africa. Should that deal go through, it would grant a monopoly to one man with the power to determine what kind of content gets broadcast across an entire continent. The Listening Post's Nick Muirhead now on what could be the biggest media deal in African history.
French billionaire Vincent Bolloré owns dozens of news outlets and is one of the biggest media moguls in France. He is what you might call a newsman, but speak to some French journalists who used to work for him, like Jean-Baptiste Livoire, and they will tell you that Bolloré is no friend of the media.
He's not someone who likes the news. He's someone who uses the influence of the media for his business. He has a very precise editorial line. After he takes over an outlet, the majority of the editorial staff often go on strike and protest. People end up leaving, and then they hire journalists who are willing to obey.
When I say we should be worried, this is why. The reason why this man, this billionaire, is buying into or buying this company is because he wants the attention of Africans, the eyes, the hearts of Africans. It's all about influence. We should understand how powerful media can be. And when these people are investing billions, millions of dollars in media, it's not because they want to entertain us and want us to watch these shows that will make us laugh and forget about the life that we are living. It's not because they care about our entertainment. That's what I need us to understand. It is about buying our attention, getting our attention, and influencing us, especially the young, especially those that are impressionable. They want to tap into that market. They want to tell us what they want us to know. They want to program us. That's why they're buying into media. That's why they want to invest in MultiChoice, so that they have the eyes of Africans. I think it's extremely important for us to have this discussion because, fam, soft power is real, and the influence media has on us, our brains, our hearts, our psychology is just too great to ignore. We cannot ignore it, fam. This man, let me tell you something, if this hasn't convinced you yet that this is not a good idea, especially for us Africans, this man, this billionaire, has pleaded guilty to corruption charges in France. You might ask, why? Why was he charged for that? The reason for the corruption charge is that he was interfering in elections, guess where? In Togo and Guinea. And he's pleaded guilty, okay? This is not just an accusation against this French billionaire. It is something that has been proven because he admitted to guilt. In Africa, 2 African countries, he was involved. He was interfering in their election. So this man, I mean, look at his track record. So knowing what we know about him and him trying to take MultiChoice is alarming. Is alarming, fam. And earlier I told you we'll talk about China as well. As I said, the Western world has perfected soft power. They have controlled us like growing up. You've watched their movies, you've listened to their music, you've heard their news, the mainstream media. So in a way, all of us, there's a lot of unlearning that we need to do because there's so much we've consumed from them. And now it's only getting worse, right? So there's a damage that has already been done. They're continuing to damage the brains and minds of our youth, right? And now, to make it worse, even the African entertainment companies and channels that we have are going to be owned by a French billionaire. So the West, let's just say, they're doing well with what they're trying to do. Like, if you look at it from their perspective and their point of view, their goal is being met. But here's where China comes in, because now the East is also learning. Unfortunately, it's just Africans that are not learning right now, and it will change. I believe in our people. But the Chinese now are learning too. Guess what they're doing? They are building a satellite infrastructure in Africa. Actually, China pledged to African countries that they are going to provide over 10,000 remote villages in 23 African countries with digital TV access. And by the way, they are almost done with them. They, I think, have already finished 9,600 villages. Like, they've already set up that infrastructure to give African countries, the remote cities, with digital TV access. You sit down and think, wow, that's so kind of them. Like, they're so nice. Oh my goodness. But what comes with that? With them giving you that infrastructure, 1, you're consuming their content. 2, you're learning their values and principles in life. 3, you are basically a Chinese culturally because you're going to learn what their people learn. That is on a positive note, okay? If you're looking at it in a positive light, where they're going to give Africans what they'll give their own people, if you look at it from a positive light. But I highly doubt that everything that we are going to be consuming, or these things that they are providing, this village in Africa, is going to be the exact same thing as what the Chinese government or what these companies will provide their own people. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt we're gonna get the same thing. But even if we get the same channels and the same entertainment videos that they give their people, it's still gonna end up being what are you learning from that? To be a Chinese, basically. To like what they like, to do what they do, to follow up on their politics, learn their language. What is this? This is soft power, fam. This is exactly the plan. The plan is for Africans, impressionable youth, to learn from them and think that their way is better than our way and be puppets of these powerful nations. I hope our governments are going to regulate what these foreign companies or governments are providing our people, because again, I'll say this again, don't underestimate the power of media. Okay, so I am hoping that there are going to be regulations put aside, and our governments are going to be involved in what the people are going to be consuming, especially if this deal goes through with the French billionaire. I really, really, really hope that our politicians step up and think outside of their pockets or the money they're going to be making and really understand what kind of long-term impact this is going to bring. But even us individually, fam, there's a lot we can do. We can start saying no to consuming those contents. We can say no to buying those decoders, the entertainment or the channels that this people are bringing to us. We can also say no to our kids consuming this content, because let me tell you something, most of this investment is towards our kids, not necessarily us, because us at this point in time, they know the damage is already done. So please, please, fam, beware. This is what I wanted to talk about today, and I think it's extremely important that this word goes out and our people realize what's happening behind the scenes. I am Wongel Zelalem. I'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed. Bye.